Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm out for your King James Version of the Bible itself this morning. I'm teaching the King James Version of the Bible. It's just the King James Version of the Bible this morning, Sunday morning. Just the King James Version of the Bible. So I'll set aside the Life Application Study Bible I was talking about earlier. The Dead Sea Scrolls I'll set down here. Also, even on the floor, says I threw Jimmy Swaggart on the floor. The red all showed to me. The red of Jimmy Swaggart's expositor study Bible. I'll even set my God. It's Sunday morning. I'm the hip connection. I'm straight up. I'm for real. Jesus was not in a way that I have to explain a little bit differently. A long ass time. I kind of got stuck doing this. A lot of money invested, so I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, so we're going to listen to me this morning explain a few things on Isaac Newton as I continue forward with just King James Version this morning. And I think I might have one down there. However, we're going to remind ourselves that because the 1976, this New American Standard, is actually a 1976 Apocrypha. That was the year I was born, so I'll put it right down there on the Nagas. And all randomly, it's like, hey, that was when I was young. Distribution of the Russian Apocrypha in the former USSR started, for example. And I'm pretty quick. We're using this every now, and we all have this. It's we're the apocryphats of the internet, I suppose, as of this exact moment in time, because as we just set this aside to kind of forget about this was once in existence also, that I bought it as a huge investment swagger. I even have swaggers, two of them. I'll put it right down here to make sure that's pretty damn fucking clear. We're not talking the same legitimacies. We're talking that the Bible itself is the King James Version of the Bible this morning. And that's what I'll be discussing and what I finally came to conclude. Hey kids, the more of us that understand the King James Version of the Bible itself, that is Apocrypha entirely, not to be taught, not to be preached. That's something that I've always had to burr up my saddle on, to be honest. And I'll put this over here where and discuss a few little things this morning, because I want to take over the world, because this is a simple concluding point of we've had this thought for a really long time, and we've actually never closed it. What's been the consequence in between? Well, I happen to be from that. I've been tracking the consequence. The consequence right now is that we have a young earth creationist cult ministry, still called a ministry, and it is a ministry, but let's use it to define what you define a modern cult instead. So in the year 2020, with King James Version right here, 1611, in the year 2020, I'm making lists. 1611. Also, we'll go through all of them this morning, just because I started on a little bit ago. Yeah, I got swaggers. It's not on the floor right now. It's over, but I'm not using. I'm not using the Mormon also, because that is actually just one chapter. I'll read from that this morning and just point you off to my website and say, let's have fun, and explain quickly why. To be honest, I'm kind of burned out. And I think that's kind of the point of this little, there was a hidden plan. It was actually a hidden plan. You're going to get so fucking sick of me. It's this fucking newspaper article that the Bible is about. It's not even a newspaper article. That the Bible is 1611, 1610 invalid. At that, doctoral concerns. Well, I happen to be with the necessity, there we go, to take over on that one thing. I've had it long enough. That's something all of my careers. All of my career when I was working with Russia, keeping track of their nurses, observed a change over there because I kept track of that. When I was keeping track of that before I even got back to the Bible, even before I went back to church, I'm always keeping track of this shit. And do I go to church? No, I'm actually not really too keen on your preaching, especially the Mormons. But that's why I have the Mormon Bible, and I'll tell you why. You've defamed the King James Version of the Bible by having it apart so badly with the other guy, the Jesus Christus. We love you. We really do. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. From when? Time to tie up your shoelaces and try to not throw temper tantrums when I explain the verse again. Is now that one won now. One verse. Because all I have a remnant of is that two verses invalidated the entire Bible. Entire. Not just one verse, not just two verses, but those two verses, God and Moses speaking face to face, invalidated the entire Bible. I'll explain why. And why this is a Facebook little reminder. Hey, no, the Earth's not 6,000 years of age or something similar to that. It's nothing like that. But you need somebody for that. You need something for that. You need somebody. Hey, guys, on Facebook, we have this situation where you're all still stuck looking at something wrong. Simple. This Bible is medieval. Sprinkle. Or something similar to that. This Bible is medieval. Yes, we know. We love it. This is called King James. I have one. Let me go get very pretty one. I go get very pretty one. Bible is medieval and it's intact. Antique. There we go. Medieval and antique. Medieval and antique. Both at the same time. Medieval and antique. Be right there. So here to confirm in picture format. Yes, I understand Bible. I distributed it in former USSR. I know Bible. I got it right there. I put it on the floor even. On Dead Sea Scrolls. Excuse me. So yeah, there's a situation actually. All of the data is not for you, and I'll give you more on the whys. There's a lot of data in here that is really scary mystical data as to what about this just happened and what just happened and what we're looking at, and they got pictures and it's all beautiful. However, this one is undated. It's antique. We covered it. Might be, it may come out, but I don't want to use it very much because it is such an antique precious. So, being from the antique precious era, I'm drawing from history of the here. I'm only going to use this so much, and then this one has everything to every plink out point that I need. And it is our antique Isaac Newton. that we're drawing out of here today. Thank you. And so, antique Isaac Newton, antique. Ooh, grab it, take it a little bit, kids. It's just an oldie. And here, looking at the oldie, which is beautiful. It's just I don't want to touch it too much, but I can't find the page. The history of it won't break it. It's very falling apart. History of it. And Leah gave it to me. That's part what I said in purchase. 2000 and 16. Yeah, 16 is when I wrote. Okay, let's see. No, next one. There's a couple other spots that I'll have to take elsewhere to just make a couple more sentences. Okay, they have 4,004. Even just right on year before the common year of Christ. So there you had a wiggle. Stop and just go along. Thank you. Consequence of 1611. Year before common year of Christ 4004. Here you have a major, that's your flat earth. Yeah, it's a major wiggle that's always in the scriptures. Always in the scriptures. Here you have onto a wow wiggle, which I'll explain. Year before the common year of Christ. In the assessments of the ages and the naming, because you couldn't quite come up, and then when you got in town, there was too much separation at the time of the construction of the tabernacle itself. In all literature, the construction of the tabernacle, that right there we have this perfect layout to even where who got which section right over there, and we have all of these pictures that showed that construction. And we're now not able to look at Kennewick Man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain, as a legitimate Paleo-American ancestral origination of personkind, humankind. All of us. We're all the same. That's Australian Aboriginal. I explain is a little bit more animal in skin. Yes. Naked Tribe Hunting Monkey on YouTube. More animal in skin. Definitely more animal than more capable than I am on doing that, especially over at the who's ever trained an eagle to come back to them when they got a Mongolian face. Just like a Mongolian Persian kitten, I'd love to kiss. But it's beautiful just to have this eagle land on her 27-year-old, and she looks 17. Arm differences. 27 looks 17, able to train an eagle to hunt for her and come back to her. And Mongolian type Persian kitten, just observation on YouTube. Just, wow, that's a beauty. And so where I take you over to Naked Tribe Hunting Monkey, that's the same person, but different God made different separates. You were all separately. So the not even joking about the White Cliffs of Dover, Coccoliths, the collapsed Trinity College right here. You didn't keep track of a book, actually, is where I come in. So yeah, right here, not having kept track of book, and this one consequence, 4004 BC, it needs to be closed with consequential relational data, which is why I'm taking this particular series of notes to rip the Bible out of the pastor I witnessed. Tell me that God and Moses didn't see. What do you do after that? No, he said that. Sorry. And you just rip the hand out of there. Hey, from God's point of view, you do it twice, and you shame on you 3 times when you take them out of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And Israel, shame on you for providing a 6,000-year pledge, and also elsewhere. So, working with Isaac Newton, thank you. Tickle, tickle. King James Version of the Bible, published Antique Beautifully, with year before the common year of Christ, year before the common year of Christ. So continue in 4004. 4004. We got it. I also have one moment. I want to make sure this is big. It's not small because it's a deduction. Yet it's only a no. Now let me show you. I did disassemble the 27 books of the Apocrypha of Gideon Bible. Did it already? So the Gideon Bible itself, 27 booklet, put it in your back pocket. I got a Souls Winner Bible, the David, that I'm not going to take apart. But I've had the Gideon Bible hanging from a couple years ago. I had the Gideon Bibles hanging from all out of these put together. Oh my fucking! The only answer at James Escher's deduction is to remove the entire Bible from print, not even think about it, just do it all at once. You didn't know that it was written down. Wrong. You kept it for so many years. The Bible itself, so many years. At 6,000 preaching the same thing, nothing ever advanced. How would you say this would be pretty cosmically challenging for the Christian who's not adept in any but wizardry bullshit. Yeah, and what I'm discussing here is turning on that little brain cells that talks to you and you be obedient. 100 million% obedient. 1,000,000% obedient. Obedient. You want to always feel good. You want to always feel proud. You want to live dirt poor like me and then be happy. Yeah, being a little hideaway mystic. Let me have your King James Version of the Bible and then just go get my prayer book to rescue you guys from pretty place. Would be a swell little adventure to take this entire little thing out of print because all it is right here, guys. The fourfold. How many times did we evolve writing? We went through a 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll add 1, 2, 3. Which of these things are not like the other? Well, today you are 22 trillion in debt, and with no education, and 25% of you. And I now need to take track of you. And now, oh fuck, that would be the entire 1611 era. There we go to 1610 into the Menurtial pattern of my daughter. Into the erasure of the one I stuck out with 1992, the absolute most important story, the absolute most incredibly rewarding story for me to understand from my 15-year and then before from sermons, because it always confused me in sermons. Why would you teach it that way? Number one, you had to get through the story of the Tower of Babel and the talking. And that's when God cursed you. Everyone, nobody, now you have to go to Japanese to talk with them. That wasn't it. That, yes, that did happen. But let me explain a little bit better. Hyoid is Josephus. You read it? No, you didn't. And when you did, it doesn't matter. It's not in here. And so it didn't fucking click. Invalidation at hyoid. Hyoid invalidation at the history of writing. Hyoid invalidation at the history of writing. So here I have 4004 BC with hyoid invalidation at the illegitimate 2020 illegitimate history of writing, and it's costing me personally $22 trillion for the United States for their new American standard to remain in print. We got to get it out of print because it's costing the United $22 trillion to permit Christians to have it unreconciled at broke the internet in 99. Jimmy Swaggart. Next is where I'm at. Broke the internet in 99, guys. Broke the internet in 99 with Cult Organization because that is really, really, really important to bring up and end in the Bible Act. At the same time as the closure of the theory of evolution, with the taking away of the Bible from anyone with any association with any form of teaching of Jesus. Take away Jesus, get him off the cross and be done with him, and just be over with. King James Version of the Bible, 1611. Be done with Bible because it's 1611 time stamped. Be done with your prior interpretation of it is an antique. It is a relic of former collections of. You buy that? Former collections of that kept going forward, that it just grew up too much. That is the left you in hell. Grew up too much into all of you, and it humbled you all down. It humbled you down to have the King James Version of the Bible in print, where you don't have the lips like my brother who flew C-17s. It humbled you down to such an extreme to every preaching facility. 2 verses in the Bible. It humbled you down so much. Preaching this thing on Sunday with 3 points in the Quran, which were scientific. 3 scientific considerations for the Sufis to consider what's going on around them. Sufis. Let me tell you about a mental illness currently going on in you still have the female circumcision. I'll take the risk of saying right there, collapse all American churches. Sufis, you collapse yours, and we'll do a swap. You knock that one off, and we'll stop teaching the Bible in the United States, and we'll get the Quran into our school. Make your trade. Keep it at that, and just do that. You guys get Torah. I outlined for all of us, the full world outlined for how that would work side by side according with the configuration management plan I'm going to arbitrarily just design because I feel like it more so accept it as a, hey guys, this is what you need to do if you want something better. But I'm not sure wow, if it is that we currently continue with a 6,000-year deductive website that is not able to turn off, left as a remnant of the Baptist era. I need to take that on as the consequence of my church being baptized in. Is how that is what the King James Version of the Bible has told me. Having this and bringing all of this back into my life. Me personally back into my life, guys. So this was a gift from Leah. Me personally back into my life, 2016. I've been working on that code. That code. That code's broken. That code's always been broken. The only solution I came up with in 14 years, at the end of it right now, recording myself, is to just simply give up on trying to interpret the Bible ever again. Just gone and look at what comes up next. Because that's what you have to do to understand Lord Kelvin. And then you had to look at the same era as your first fossil remains. Oh, what's that? Oh, now in the year 2020, it's a big hot deal. You did it wrong. Near an Episcopal church with it right there. You didn't tell them. Oh, why not? And so here I have in the Episcopalians Bible, their Episcopalians Catholic Bible. And so I'm taking over that one, throwing Jimmy's over there, and we're sticking with a few of these. But and talking from this, then we're going to grab a few things from this. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's what I found: that connective union between old and new is up. God and Moses face to face. If you don't see that, you get nothing. You're jack shit, just dumb fuck out of it. Nothing. Let's be right back. So what comes as the unique, challenging surprise now that I have, kids, is that it was the King James of the Bible itself, not anything else. Spooky, 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 spooky. Tell your kids. This one I has on 6/26/2020. 6/20. Oh, that was 6/26. Right on. Right, yeah. Picked up. Okay. The here, what did it say about the good man? I didn't want to. The hurricane having this summer. We don't know what's that. Didn't see that one coming. Oops. We covered the book and we got that one wrong. Oops. What do you mean, guys? Let's check again. Said an internet call. We have to shut it off now. So that was 1611 consequence. Let me roll this cigarette. I'll be right back. So that was the 1611 consequence. I just think of it. Having this book in print for so long at 6,000. At 6,000, never thought. I didn't actually expect myself to be recording myself on YouTube, coming up with the idea. Well, we could actually close Facebook as a consideration, just out of respect for God. Even that would be pretty spiffy for me, in order to say, "Hey, that's big enough, a big enough one." 1611 consequence could be turning on Facebook reference for taking God out of it. The 1611 6,000-year legend cap. That would be a consequence. That would be a display. That would be a story. And that's what I came up at in 14 years. As, hey, this is actually just two verses. And, even though I did the whole look, I got a long story to tell you about that and how it left me and how. And just a little book like that. It's just a little book like that. Because it's really, really teeny tiny when none of it actually fit with the four lines that said God and Moses were face to face, and Moses wrote down everything. From there on, you went to follow false Messiah. In Greek English, translation's false. Sorry. Is kind of the next. That was from the time era of 1856. Right? So we took Time Era stamp from the King James Version a long time ago. That's before 1856. That's an old one. That was like the late 1700s. It had it in there. So yeah, I've been making that. Go back on my grade 8 fingers and toes now. Calculate with the distance and time that you kept evolution in print with the King James Version of the Bible at 6,000 years still. It's the year 2020. That's the one we actually need to pull it. That's the one we need to look at in order to make sense out of anything that's ever gone through anything that's ever gone through anything. Every open theory right now, just turn off, go back and close them all. That's 1859. I'm working with 1856. You found your first Neanderthal. So between 1856 and 2020, 6,000 years, the cult teachers are still too incompetent to accept the volcanics around it, and the Australia hasn't made a big deal about it. That 25% of America doesn't give a shit about it. The 6,000 year legend kept facility type internet in Australia is never really noticed. Yeah, with them being there for 65,000 to 125,000 years, and I can explain that one. That one's pretty simple. In Washington State, where doctors are looking at the wrong data, we have rises in birth defects where part of the skull and brain and missing in children are growing up with this thing called ancephaly. The year's 2020, children. That's the blood of the Bible. Two whole other verses. That's an anonymous tip over there. If you were wise enough to tap up and to say, what's going on locally to my church that I'm collapsing a Bible from, because he teaches a 6,000 year still, is that 1611 is just 1611 consciousness in the year 2020. It's just, and because it's better than you, it's actually better than 1611 consciousness is so much more pristine and precise that the type of coding that you use for Perl programming, for example, the C++ programmers, the 1611 tightness for those stories and those pictures and the timestamping that they calculated wrong and they hid it in their passages. They actually hid it in their commentaries. I don't quite know what I'm talking about. And it was such perfect 1611 consciousness that you're all in this weird, you forgot what millennium it is, while some of you remain unobservant to the science that grew up around you. The same science which fixed the others. The same sciences, same science, same science. Who am I to say that I've never flown an airplane as I've flown? Who am I to say that I've never petted a Scud missile as I petted it? Yeah. Who am I to say that I've never jumped out of an airplane, which I've never done? So I've actually never jumped out of an airplane and I've never landed. Who am I to say I've never parachuted? As we'd be jumping out and paragliding, and I looked into it pretty closely, but I decided not to, and similar. So, flying with Cessna C-150 and saying, Dad, I'm sorry, the Earth is no longer 6,000 years of age, because every time I ever calculated wind speed from the hills I was around, I utilized the geometric science of real thermodynamics from how long would it take for the Earth to cool off, and you learn the time of the day, pretty damn fucking specifics, coordinates, like you learn the stars, you're flying airplanes, you did VFR, never did IFR, and you do you make it past the gate, and you do it, and you just do it. So 1611 is like flying an airplane. It's such a beautiful book, but you're kept at 4004 BC. It was closer to the B-17 in descriptive analysis side by side of the apocryphal 1976 comparative side by side. I had to compare them all in English in order to recognize English. English was the culprit. You're all in hell because the Bible remained in English and at 6,000 years of age, and English really shouldn't have it. The English speaking languages shouldn't actually really have it, and the Moji speaking languages down there really should have a much different sedentary slow down. Slow down at the Mayan and Inca introduction to the Americas. That was the 1500s when they came over and crusaded, and within 50 years, you lost the entire ancestral record of writing right there in the Mayan and Incan areas. I need you to slow down and understand immediately. That is the Mayan and Incan relationship of a disharmonic union that did have relationship to the capping of the Dome of the Rock. Crusades happened. Don't really care when. It was kind of cool. We got weird, and we kept with it, and it was still doing it as well. Well, we're also $22 trillion next, so let's get some reality. What do you think the 99 Gulf excursion was? That was a crusade. I watched it. We all loved it. That was a hell of a quick end, and a hell of a had to clean up Daddy's mess when he came back and did it again for no good reason. Cold War erasure. Reagan era Cold War erasure and decision-making processes in the Republicans, and we're now $22 trillion in debt, Republicans. Bernie Sanders, all there. The only way to have any real consciousness in what the Bible contains is to handwrite it, children. That's what I teach. You handwrite your Bible, you get out of whatever crazies you have with the Bible. The crazy that you have with the Bible is your pastors preaching it correctly. We need to take it away from all religion. All religion, all religion, all religion. The year is 2020. The year is not 1611 any longer. Is kind of the motto. Is the motto. Coming out of 1611, only Bible. Authorized? No longer authorized. No longer authorized. No longer authorized Bible. Anything to take it apart. No more preaching it. No more preaching any Bible. No more preaching. We've lost so much in the preaching processes of cult formation into church after church. Oh, I gotta keep going. Even a cult, you're $22 trillion in debt now. That cult's costing us $22 trillion in bad decisions up there in government. Bad voting to bad practices and immediacies. Immediacies, children. Our government is so immediate into nothing that it's just pop culture right now. The pop culture, can you make a good decision as quickly to push your own agenda? Or you're not thinking about you're talking to somebody and it immediately falls off into them as they agree with you and then walk away with the smirk on there. It's just the way it is. It's always been that way. Why do you think it is that way? Why? That's simple psychology, simple dynamics. I thought we studied it a little bit more, but children don't. Children's Psychology Today magazine, for example, is what is it? Christian Century, good magazine, good style of reading. But Christian Century, what you teaching? You're teaching a solid tradition of setting up facilities. Also, then how will I peace, happy, and love into the solid cult traditions we need to turn off? When turning off Saline cult traditions is my goal. The turn off of Saline cult traditions is your personal preaching. We need to turn off personal preaching because the Bible is not currently in our school systems. We need to turn off, is what I come up in next sentence. Let's turn off preaching, pastor, for preaching still. Disappointing. Let's turn off preaching because pastor still refuses to even try again on his words. Even try to didn't sit down. Try again. Okay, I know what it said now. And that's about all it was. Very disappointed after that. But it took 14 years to get to this huge disappointment. Okay, let's look at the picture. At least God's in it. There's some kids, very cute kids. These are kids in the former USSR that they're just like us. And you look at how beautiful they are. I have one I fell in love with over here. This was on the way into Russia. And more specifically, Belarus, where I picked up in the Ukraine. Okay, that's where we stayed in one place. We were in tents most of the time, but we did stay. This one had this really, really weird, stinky egg smell in the shower. I took it really quick, and that was me with the fat Russian guy. They ate pretty well. Did you see that? That was in Smolensk, Moscow, Lviv, and Kiev. They have a lot of engineers here. And that was me when I was 15. And look at me. I was 15. I grew up my first ponytail back then. And look at what happened. I thought I did. Yeah, then I fell in love and I lived with her after I broke up with my ex-wife the first time. And it was really kind of weird, but I would follow the .com and I stayed in this place also. This is my favorite place. When I stayed in this one, the boys thought, hey, let's go get some beer. And I thought, all right, or let's get some alcohol, they said. I went in, I think that would be cool. Let's try. I'm 15 and I like drinking a few times. Thinking, oh, vodka. No. They come back with a snappy American beer. So what do we end up doing the next day? Getting stuck in the bus for the Marine and happy to wear it. They come in and bust them and all get stuck in the bus. Nappy American beer. We don't even get to drink it on this island. These kids are so dumb. And when I arrived in London, I'm so dumb. When I arrived in London, I'm so dumb. I was offered some little boy street urchin in London, not Great Dane, and there's a cute little mug. They don't evolve either. They don't ever have that. We don't ever thought they'd be evolved over there. And so why do you have Darwin over here? But however, no, that's not the question I was really asking. Do you see that really beautiful cathedral? They had Bibles there and already, and they didn't really need ours. It was still broken. Theirs was had 81 books most some of the time, and they didn't really use them. It was a little different in those days. The orthodoxy required to understand the actual tense of meaning is an orthodoxy. Your orthodoxy. So let me read for the King James version of you have no orthodoxy. You King James hell no so. So let me describe. You have no orthodoxy in any of your sermons by standing and preaching. We're done. Okay. So by standing and preaching and saying anything. And saying anything. Hey. Hello. And when thy son make it, what you would do is you would have an appropriation of scripted things to read out of, and as to why, I'll set that up for you. Dr. Martin Luther will approve. In the Lord's Shoot signs, and you see that beautiful poetry that you. Why is it hard to read? Let me scratch right here. Why is it hard to read in Deuteronomy? This is they got. No. It's in here. And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Lord your God hath commanded you? God and Moses spoke face to face. This man was exiled from reading this book. Israel was exiled with this book. They didn't have it. They didn't know what it was. This book is not a book. This book is something part of something different. This is not a book. This is a wafer in time that kabombed behind itself. It's not a book. It just happens to be in print. There we go. Expositors, no, you're all done there. Therefore, thou shalt love the Lord thy God and keep his charge. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen or for sheep or for wine. And there is your plinkett to the grape, the grape, the grape, the grape, the grape babies, the grape babies, the sacrament of wine. Grape babies, grape babies, grape babies. What do you say? I don't know. And the Levite, and there you're not. This is why 1610 didn't appear until the year 2022. Almost. Distance in time. Distance in time. I've been working on this since 92. In 96, the data I'm bringing you through to Kennewick, man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain that was born 2 years or discovered 2 days after my daughter was born is next. 9,200-year-old fossil remain with how many mountains right around me? A mountain range to explain to you, Pastor. You're missing the whole fucking valley I live in. You're missing every geology. You're missing the contrast. There we go. The contrast of the light, the sound of the birds. You're missing it all. You're not even seeing the hill. There's no legitimacy in 6,000 years. What are you fucking looking at, Pastor? There's no legitimacy in book. With you keeping books still in print. There's no legitimacy in the book, Pastor. Scribble. Okay. Deuteronomy. No legitimacy in book. And that is consciousness of what you're doing as your preacher, having no legitimacy from misinterpreting. There we go. And not comprehending what you're doing to yourself. No, not even thinking about it. Why are you not thinking about it? Why were you preaching a false Messiah? You can't take off the cross yourselves, pastors. That's your first job. To come and sniff this book a little bit closer. It's a King James 1611. Everything in print afterwards went fuck you, the pastor. It's still 1611 because of it's still this era. So 1610, it's still 1610 in the year 2020. That's science. It's still the day that James Escher read the same fucking thing. It was the same year as when Isaac Newton was sitting there at Trinity. Same millennium that it is when the White Cliffs of Dover were being formed. It's still that. It's still 136 million years ago because you won't look up and down at where you're standing. It's still both until we can turn the whole fucking thing off. We gotta turn can we take evolution? Yeah, we have to take evolution. That has to go at the same time, children. Same time. Evolution, the theory. It was a theory over on Wikisource. I used my dog. It worked better than James Escher was in Darwin in 1976. So take it at that. So this is... take it at that. So you want to fill in some dates in between now is when 9/11 happened. Right now. When 9/11 happened, the year's 2020, remember, kids? We're in the 7th millennium. We received 9/11 because of 6,000 year on those dates, specifically 3 times, 3 places, specifically because of the very, very clear specificity of the 6,000 year legend keepers in one single spot over there with the Wikisource Bible and over there with Wikipedia, which is I spent 13 years digging my way through it. The Wikipedia, you're done. Whoa. Which verse went where? It's a puzzle piece after that. And which verse goes next? Which verse will where? Not good. I'm done. I've been doing this for 14 years. I'm done. I'm ready to. I'm ready to. This is a Scrabble game. There we go. It's a Scrabble game. Scrabble. Do you want to see what it looks like in French? I don't know. You will see something different, and it will spook you out. So you don't want to do that. And in any you this thing from Hindi and this thing from that, it has this entire double-sided message in it. It's really kind of spooky. It's really kind of weird. You don't want to fuck with this thing, kids. You don't want this thing. The only thing you want to do is handwrite a few select spots and get rid of the rest of it. Handwrite a few select spots and be done with it forever. We need to be done with public preaching based on me doing this for you. Okay? Pass me around. Let's do that. Yeah, we could. The disdain of 6,000 year on YouTube, also on not YouTube. The disdain on Facebook. I'm seeing that. That's the most ignorant use of technology. Most ignorant use of technology. My goodness, how immature. Discussing a pseudoscience right next to a secondary pseudoscience. You could actually figure out yourselves. Dinosaurs are real. You believe some geology and some fossil remain, such as real humankind you need to learn about. You don't know about Australia? What the fuck? I thought you saw the kangaroo. Yeah, Darwin is a little bit confused about the marsupial also. What to do with the fossil remain of sloth, I think. Cheers. We're back to 1856 logic fixing it. It was answering the question, was the temple destroyed in 69 or 70 AD? And it was kind of a both. But I prefer to just say leave it alone. I like 69. can do that. But 70 is more real probable, so I'll just keep throwing it out there as the more probable. Lilith is on my back, and she's kind of poking me in the ass, and 69 is always a little bit of fun. So I'm going to go with that to this morning, saying it's okay when a demon pokes you in your back to say, oh, this one got in red. Then shall the kingdom of that. So we're in St. Matthew. This thing is not respected. It's not taken care of. It's totally at 6,000 just not taken care of. This thing, 27 books, just not taken care of at all. At all. We can't leave it like that. That's a get rid of. 27 books. Then there's some specifics in the Tanakh that you broke that I'll outline to how you got left in hell. But that's this morning. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So, doers of the word is what they have there. Let's take this a little bit more better apart. And I go up here with Matthew chapter 8 in 1976 apocryphatic. Also, and do the side. Look at the webbles. Watch out. English, Syriac, all other language. It even shows up in Hindi, and I used that already. And we're all done. So let me go to you give me the world. URL. I'm using that one. Yes, we're using the get you out of hell. Where is it get you out of? It's actually get you out of. Yeah, I'm more so doing it for my dog and my daughter. But however, so this is St. Matthew chapter 8. Show it more respect and be more careful. And if you're not that, if you use it a lot, it'll end up looking like that. If you actually study it, you might learn something a little bit more about how this thing is a false document. But you didn't. And so all of that red over there and Jimmy Swaggart stay away from is different than this red stay away from. It's different red stay away from, because Jimmy Swaggart's red stay away from was, wait, what did Jimmy Swaggart get wrong? He put the whole Baptist religion into just the red. Why this cult? Oh no, they're persecuting me. We can't turn off. We're the red bastard. We're the red in the Bible. The cult organization is Jimmy Swaggart's red in the Bible. Red. It's the entire cult organization over there. Got questions.cultville right now. The red of that Bible, I can't even look at it, so bad. That your guys is still at 6 years. It's like, guys, no, that's false. And so now that we're through that one, reviewing St. Matthew right there, Matthew goes to, we're going to look at it a little bit closer, and that's what I promised. I didn't. Okay, 8. So let's go to, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Verse 27, chapter 8. So 8. So right here, over here in New American, also, here what they were trying to recover and make up on their way through, stumbling through nothing. And the men marveled, saying, what kind of man is that? Does the winds didn't even obey him? But that's not the wind. The rain descended, and the flood came, and the wind blew and beat upon the house, and it fell. And it was 8. 8:27. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And the men marveled, saying, what kind of man is it that even the winds and the sea obey him? So when you do it, are you sure that's correct? Side by side, a little bit higher up, a little bit wiser. It's King James Version, the Bible, apocryphatic, left, right, up, down. Which direction do we not get it right in English? No, we didn't get it right in English at all. You didn't get it right. You don't have a book. It's just to stay away from. It's only a Sunday stay away from. It's only a Sunday stay away. It's a 1611 stay away from. It's a 1611 stay away from. You don't have right. You don't have it right. You're all whoa. So let's go to chapter 8. Stay away from because you don't match. I did that wrong, actually. So I did that one wrong. Okay. So I did that stay away from me wrong. And when he said itself, no, that did that right. That was that verse. Oh, we're going to go to 6. Fuck. This one I already told me apart. Chapter 4. I would turn this one apart. But I took the entire King James Version of the Bible apart at Gideon. That's where you're at bad. It was the Gideon Apocrypha that caught up with the 6,000 year legend keepers. Gideon Apocrypha caught up with 6,000 year legend keepers in my brain in the year 2020. And Gideon's fucked up by not passing the Gideon basket too well. I guess. You're all seeing all the elders now. And Gideons are all crazy. I love you. My grandpa was a Gideon. We have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye. You didn't have this in your book, Gideons, but you read it differently. I know you have that one, 6. 28. 30. Okay. You had to compare side by side, Gideon 6, 38. 6. So grab it down for you, sorry. I took them all apart and it worked. Let me get there. Fucking 14 years, you bitches. Okay, so here, what the fuck is going on? Chapter. Oh, not right there. Chapter 6. Take heed that you do not take alms. Beware of practicing righteousness before men. To be seen of them. Otherwise, ye have no reward in heaven. Ye have no reward. Otherwise, you have no reward. Ye have no reward of your Father. See how that changes? Of, up, down, left, right. What did that word say? It's different. So as it continues to remain faulty, the which is in heaven, who is in heaven? Which is who is the question answer? Which is who is in heaven? Are you showing him the right respect, children? Father in heaven, which is who is. What do you believe in Moses? Why don't you have his written instruction in your schools right now? You don't have it in your schools because you have churches. We can't have the Bible in school because that would be religion, right? Solve that. My answer. We're done with that. We're done with religion. And he said unto them, as a candle brought to put under a bushel. See, each of these little one-liners, it's getting the next 20 years going through the commentary on the one-liners. Running into me here is me digging this thing out at the one-line point, taking it out of red and fixing Jimmy's virus incompetence of contribution to the 6,000 year legend keepers, which is in that antique, which is in the same antique, which I'm following along, not for anyone but Lord Kelvin's deduction, the 4,000 even deduction, the 4004 BC can't deduce around it, and that meant get rid of whole Bible. Get rid of the whole Bible. Can't deduce around it, Baptists. Get rid of the Bible then. It's not correct. Give it to me. Every verse, every line, just word Bible. Be done with Bible. and you're done with James Escher deduction. You're also done with 6,000 years. What will science say to that? Hey, NASA, what year is it now? You accept 7th millennium, we accept you. 4.53 billion years of age. That's pretty swell. How long did it take you to get there from 1846 when you had your first Neanderthal? And when? And why did you not understand NASA, of all fucking organizations in the world? That was your Paleo America and your entire Earth history right there as you were looking down over us. NASA, you found this magic water factory of 140 trillion times the amount of water that Moses wrote about it right over there in Genesis 1:9 we began this morning with. I'm explaining this is NASA's magic water factory. The Bible itself was video. All of it. The 6,000 year deduction is what the clue gave off to it. And it's something I've been tracing down. And it meant the entire Bible was inept. The entire Bible was inept. The construction of the entire Bible was inept. The 6,000 years is an inept use of it. It's not a use of it. It's something that happened on accident is a better way to say it. What are they using it for now? You're teaching the earth is how old? Still? That's pretty fucking lame. Lame. Took God out of the Bible twice. Took God out of the Bible twice. Took God out of the Bible twice, and they're broken, they're mentally ill now. They took God out of the Bible twice. 2 whole times, NASA, and they have a mental illness, NASA, with your water right there. I'm trying to tell them about, can you splash it on their heads and correct that great apes aren't you? That would be swell. That would help them. NASA, you want to help with the little shebang for the end of the road cleanup for the 1611 of all things, to just get the 1611 out of print because of 6,000 euros still? You want to help with that? We still have 6,000 years. We need a little help out of that. Now, we actually need a little bit of help. Hey, where are we at? 22 trillion. Hey, we need a little help out of that. We need a little bit better understanding. You need a little bit of better leadership. You need a little bit better help out of that, NASA. It is because you have gone for the same legend for so long of no one ever can correct religion. No one ever can correct religion. Ever corrects religion. Ever. We have two recents with priest raping boys, NASA. Can you help with the 6,000 year what the fuck? Take out the Pope. We don't need him. Bucky doesn't even know that it exists. So the consequence I came up with, the only solution for 6,000 years still is 6,000 year Earth still. It is 6,000 year Earth still. Backwards, masking into what did you erase? In 1856, forward, 1996. You missed that your 1856 you're backward. NASA, you miss in 1856 that your first Neanderthal instances were Australian Aboriginal exacts, and then you therefore miss, as you're not even looking for naked tribe hunting monkeys. You're all now just homosexuals. You're all just really weird homosexual gray misfits. It's broken of mate. Broken of mate. Some of the most brilliant men I know are the most dumb I know also. Yeah, I really broken of mate. We're all the fucking same. We didn't see each other as mateable creatures, and we didn't calculate each other and then the compensation of caring for each other as we are all the same, but we're all totally different. Meaning that Adam and Eve were actually albino, real albino people in albino graded King James Version turned me off on YouTube on a Sunday morning because I got to pull the Bible out of a Bible cult over there. So I came to recognize that King James Version of the Bible itself having that mystical bad union between the old and the new, the old covenant, new covenant arrangement is the constitutional of get me out of print into that arrangement. It was that God and Moses speaking face to face, get me out of print because you erased God at 6,000 year 4004 BC, having erased God at 4004 BC, you left a very, very heavy fucking book that's really my notes to the size of the ceiling. Get the whole fucking thing after me now, children, and pass me around. The entire thing, just every verse, every line, and I'll explain it to you over the course of the next 120 years. I'll give it to my daughter to finish it up with when she put my concubine beside me 50 years after I die up there. My daughter puts me up into little Laimi, is there a resurrection? Jews said no. That's an idea. Jews also said that for Stupids of America in English, the great ape conundrum of 6,000 year Darwin kept together with 3760, which is at the deductive point with 4004 BC, one aside that came out of not for Trinity. So Trinity College, you had another to compete with. And that's you also, James Usher, and you, everyone along, and then Lightfoot helped a little bit, but you had to take it out of print to get it to understand that. Well, no, that's just wrong. And I'm at fucking 15 years of age, I'm reading that undated. Right on. Right on. It's undated. I can do whatever I want. Well, that's kind of what it tells you in NIV. Good fucking job. It left it undated. Fill in the blanks behind yourself. Where did I distribute the former USSR's Bible? Oh, give it to me. Bad. Mine because I take King James Version from English-speaking world. You guys are done with it. How's that sound? You're just done with King James. You're done with the Bible. You're done with everything. And you just all collapse your churches tomorrow and never be meet again. Don't do it again. No more pulpit preaching. You're cool. And he's kind of close. I don't know if he's looking. I'm not going over there. I might go. What time is it? I'm going to go over to Luther. So it's 9:36 right now. I go over to Luther's in a little bit. And I want to go to Luther today. I do that. So I do that with Bubble. And being inferent. And the 6,000 year done with it. How about that? Today, I walk over there. We're just done with it. He's never thought about it. I need to have him straighten up his lips. Sit him down. That's where I'm so far done with this. I'm done. 2 verses. The whole King James Version of the Bible I've handwritten. All of it. I've typed it all. I've typed every language into English. I fixed the entire Bible. It's broke. I fixed entire Bible. I fixed entire Bible. It was broke at 6,000 legend count. Entire Bible, Pastor. Did you know you could do that also? Like the following 2 verses back, but it was really more interestingly spooky because as I recover 2 more copies of the ones I have to take for myself as I read in 92, it contained, God was right there in one of the 2 cases and didn't point you to the other or anything like that. It didn't have either of those cases. It's like God used to walk, and then he talked only directly to Moses, as compared to as story told you with Joshua witnessing in Exodus 33:11. So I understand you want to interpret. Good job, grade 8, Ruby, 4004 BCs out to 3760. You worked a lot better at 4000 BC. You had 3 to choose from right there. You want to go to another approximate without a little less exacting a science, mathematicians working on it. You want to keep that one? Give it up, Pastor. I'm fucking insane. You're fucking batshit crazy with that book. You got it all wrong. Every one, every verse. Yeah, everything. Take Jesus off the cross. We're done. Yeah. Happy Sunday. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to remove my King James Version. I'll take one with the. I'll actually take one with James Version stuff. I will. I'm going to take one of my big fat King James Version Bible to Solomon Gold today and say, let's talk about something a little bit close. Love you guys. Thanks for joining this morning, and thanks to anyone who runs across it, and thanks for joining on the 116 network.